Hi, Matt. Should I?
Yeah, you should.
Okay, well, right on.
I'll just introduce. Hey guys, this is Dan McDonald, the Life Regenerator. This video is entitled How to Plant a Fruit Tree. I'm here with my friend Barry KORAL at the KORAL Fruit Farm. We are going to teach you today how to plant a fruit tree. So why don't we get started? What are we doing,
Okay.
Barry?
What we're doing is we're cleaning out an area for the hole. The hole actually needs to be the size of the depth of where the tree is. We want to plant it as deep as this is right here.
And that is what? 8/16?
Yeah, so we're going right to the this line right here where the dirt is. So we have to dig a hole that deep.
Okay, we have to dig a 16-inch hole deep. And how wide does the hole have to be, Barry?
Usually 2 to 3 times the size of that circumference.
Okay, so 2 to 3 times the size of the circumference that the fruit tree of the what is this thing called? Planter that the fruit tree is in. Today we're planting a Valencia orange tree.
Right.
Yes, so we wanted to make it simple. I'm introducing, on April 10th, which is my birthday, I'm going to be introducing the Plant a Fruit Tree Day. So if you have a grandma that has some property, or you can talk to your landlord, anybody, anywhere, find a piece of dirt and spend, how much is a fruit tree, Barry?
This one I get wholesale. I could probably hook people up. This one cost me like $18.
$18 for a fruit tree.
Right.
It costs how long? I mean, how long does it take before this grows?
Well, as you see right here, there's fruit on it already.
Yeah.
So like within a year and a half, you're going to have an abundance of fruit.
And within 5 years, you got enough oranges to eat.
You have a farmer's market right
wow.
at your own home.
Okay, so there you go. So if you plant a fruit tree now, in 5 years you will be abundantly harvesting delicious fruits of your own. So I want to encourage everyone: apple trees, cherry trees, plum trees, orange trees, cherimoya trees in the background here, lime trees, lemon trees, any tree that you want. So we're going to get to work here and dig a hole, and we'll be right back with how to plant a fruit tree. So thank you very much for your time. I'm really glad you're here with us today. Action. Go ahead.
What we're doing is we're getting into the soil right now and starting to dig the hole. And the whole key of it is I spent 3 years developing the soil.
Look at that soil.
Before I even planted any trees. And like Dan was saying just a few moments ago, he saw the worms in here. So the worms are actually the way of fertilizing the tree right from the beginning. I also use worm castings and rock dust. It's a fantastic source of nutrients and...
Okay, worm castings and rock dust. Now what can they do if they just have any old soil? What can they do if they haven't prepared the soil? Is there some secret to planting a good fruit tree?
Well, the idea is to start saving all of your compost and not putting it in the landfill. And the whole idea is paying Mother Earth back for all the goodness that Mother Earth gives to us. And the way we do that, rather than just throwing it out in your garbage can, even if you're living in an apartment, you can start creating your own compost.
Okay, so create your own compost. What if it's a city dweller and they just want to get into Plant a Fruit Tree Day? Can they just get some compost at the local nursery?
They can, and I also recommend just take a garbage can and take some straw and some leaves, put it all together with some dirt, and put your banana peels, your apples, and your oranges, all the things that you're ready to throw away. Put it in there. A good compost pile will break down in 2 weeks.
Okay, so if they take a plastic garbage can?
Plastic garbage can, and just put it in layers, and then you water it. And by watering it, what it actually does, if you're getting the soil from the earth, it attracts worms. And the moisture of the water will keep the worms active.
So you throw worms in it?
It would be helpful, yes.
Okay, I'm sure they can do a lot of research online on how to start a compost pile.
So what we're doing now is we're digging the hole. See how rich it is?
That is very rich soil.
And we're creating an environment for the tree to be happy in. Now, certain trees are like candy to gophers. So what I would do if I was doing that kind of a tree, an orange tree is pretty well protected. But something like a persimmon or cherimoya, the roots are almost like candy for the gopher. And what it would start doing is eating the roots, because that's what they really crave.
Okay.
And as a result, it would destroy the tree. So to protect it, what I do is I put a bunch of wire in there, mesh wire,
Okay.
and that protects.
Pretty simple. So dig your hole,
Right.
throw your mesh wire in,
Exactly.
and then by the time the roots grow into the mesh wire, it's big enough to survive and not be eaten by the moles.
Yes.
Cool.
And then when I'm finished with this whole thing, we plant it. I put rocks all around the outer circumference of the tree, and what that does, it kind of reflects the universe. It gives minerals back to the soil, and it keeps the water contained within one area. Normally when you're planting a tree, you have a grove. It's best to plant the trees 15 feet apart because they all grow together. But what I do is something called jungle farming, and I grow my trees shorter distance. And as a result, because I have limited land here, I'm able to get more production going.
Okay.
So that's another way of viewing it.
Everything is just kissing everything else out here. See how close this tree, this is a lemon tree right here.
That's a lemon.
And we're going to be we're digging a hole about probably 8 or 10 feet away. So I'm going to help Barry dig the hole here, and then we'll go from there, okay? So thanks a lot for joining us, you guys. We sure appreciate you being here.
What I'm doing is I'm taking the dirt out of the hole and I'm putting it in the outer perimeter. So what this is going to do is going to be an area for the water to stay without flowing all over the grove, and it'll continue to water the tree.
Okay, cool. So put your dirt on the outside of the perimeter of the hole so that the water stays contained. Excellent.
So
okay.
Yeah, go on. So what we want to do is not fertilize it because it would burn the roots, and you want the roots to become established into the earth, and then you can fertilize it once it's starts.
How long after you've planted the tree will you fertilize?
Well, I would say probably about a month. Yeah.
And what would you fertilize with?
With the rock dust, the worm castings. They're very high in mineral, and the worm castings is like a fertilizer in the sense that it's like gives protein to the tree, and that's going to help the rejuvenation of the tree.
And how did you put that on the tree or around the tree?
You put it around.
You put the rock dust and the worm castings around the edge of the perimeter.
Around the outer perimeter.
Okay.
This is actually called the umbrella of the tree. So you want to do as far as the outer leaf is, all the way around the circumference, and you apply the fertilizer, and then you water it, and it sinks into the ground and starts fertilizing.
Okay, cool, Brian.
What we actually did is we dug too deep, but it wasn't a mistake because it's actually good. Because by having looser soil, it helps the roots to get embedded into the dirt, into the soil, and start growing. So it gives them some breathing space.
So dig a little too deep, and then refill, and then you've got easily the roots can just penetrate that soil much more easily.
The water is going to stimulate the roots to grow into the earth and start connecting with all the minerals of the earth to go into the tree to make it grow.
Awesome.
And what we're doing is we're digging the hole. We have to go as deep as the roots are on this here tree. It's good to start off simple, and the best thing to grow actually is what you love. A lot of people say, they call me up and they say, what should I grow? And the thing to do is do what you love, and that's the best kind of tree. But it's really important for us to all be growing trees because it's our way of sustaining life for the planet. And there's nothing better than walking up to your own tree, which is the fastest food available. Pick your own fruit and eat it directly from the earth.
Fast food, huh?
Very fast food, and it's very satisfying. So we got Dan here today really getting into it. Normally I have my Hispanic man helping me, but I'm not afraid of work, and nor is Dan isn't either, as he's really into it. So we're almost there. We're just about there.
Cool, that's good enough.
Yeah. What I'm doing is I'm getting the roots and the tree out of the can. Best way to do it is just hit it, and it's loosening up the soil and making the inside of the dirt and everything smaller than the actual can. Or if it doesn't come out, I would split it and to get it out. This one's coming out. There it is. Here we go. We got it right here. Let's see how we're doing here. So what we're doing is we want to get the level of where this dirt is right here with the level of the ground. And Dan's been really enthusiastic about digging, so we've gone a little deep. So we have to throw some of the soil back in. That's what he's doing right now. And what you do is take the back of the shovel and pound it in.
Okay.
Pound the dirt in. And when you have a solid surface, then you could put it back in. You don't want to put fertilizer right in the hole because that's going to burn the roots. You put the fertilizer after the tree has got established a little bit. But basically all we want to do right now is just water it. So it's still a little low. We still have to get more.
Okay,
now,
so
what we're doing is we're pushing the soil back into the ground. And then what Dan's going to do is use the other side of the rake to pack it down in there so it has like the soil's become a little more firm.
So I'll use it as a tamper?
Yeah, just use it as tamper. And then what I'll do is I'll get extra dirt and I'll make the big circle around with more dirt, and then the water won't dissipate all over the grove, and I'll add rocks as the circumference. It looks good, and it also helps to mineralize the tree, and it keeps the water impacted to the center part of the tree where the roots are, where it really needs to grow.
So this is how to tamp it down?
Exactly.
At about a moderate, pack it like moderately back down in, not super packed, or?
Yeah, we want it like there. You can just feel yourself going in. You want to pack it in, that it has a solid foundation, and then when we water it, it's going to go in there and start the whole process of growth. So we're right there. This is a wonderful tree to grow. Valencia orange, everybody loves the juice. The difference between the Valencia and the navel orange, the Valencia is actually ultimately better for juicing. The navel is more of an eating orange. When you do juice the two, the navel orange separates. When you're making the juice, the Valencia orange stays consistent, and it's normally the sweetest of all the varieties. Right now we have still quite a few Valencia oranges, which if anybody's interested in getting any, I'd be happy to ship them to them.
How do they get a hold of you, Barry?
Well, you contact us. I really love the personal relationship with anybody that I'm servicing with fruit, and they contact me by calling me at 760-455-1261, and my name is Barry KORAL.
Okay, so Barry, what's next?
Just get some water and we're pretty much in.
Just water it up, and then you're going to bring some dirt again to finish it off.
Right.
And make a berm.
Exactly.
And then you're going to put rocks.
Exactly.
So we water it, and then what? In 1 month or so, we bring some rock dust, some worm castings, and we let nature take over.
Exactly.
That's like the easiest thing I've ever done in my life.
Right.
Why are there food shortages?
Actually, there's more food in nature and out in the wilds than there is actually that's growing on a farm. But because of the limitation that we think we only get our food from stores, actually if stores would shut down, then what would we do? So the idea is to learn about wild foods, go into nature, become more connected to nature, and realize our greatest source of food is abundant, and it's out there. There's more food in the wild than there is in any supermarket.
This is the life regenerator fruit tree right here.
You got it.
All right, man. Yeah. Thanks, Barry.
Thank you.
I guess that was easier than I thought, so thanks a lot, guys. I hope that you learned something from this video. Remember, April 10th, I'll announce this closer to that time, is Plant a Fruit Tree. So go to the local nursery, ask the guy what fruit grows really good in your area. Also ask yourself, what do you love to grow? What do you love to eat? And go to your grandma's house, her property, or you find a friend, somebody with a piece of earth about 8 by 8 or so, and plant a fruit tree, and let's save the planet one fruit tree at a time.
The thing is, we all want inner fulfillment, and the greatest fulfillment is to plant and pick your own fruit right from the earth. Obviously, God is doing it for us, but we have a great part in demonstrating that just by doing some of the work. And it's very fulfilling. You become stronger and more healthy by doing it, so I really recommend it. It's great being out in the sun. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Subscribe, of course, and I sure do appreciate you very much. Thanks, Barry.
Thank you.